Thank you for stopping by this channel. If you want to support the channel, just hit the like button. The story you're about to read/listen to is entitled Immolation. Immolation is an interactive story in which your comments can help dictate the course of the story. If you relish in the story the same way I did making it, share. And now, Immolation. Immolation, Chapter 1, Part 2. Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, Bethesda, Maryland, 2005. In Part 1, Chapter 1, we left off with our hero fainting, hearing the news that he would have to have his leg amputated. He did indeed have that amputation, from the hip down. Our hero has just been wheeled back into his room. He began thinking about that day in Fallujah, as he does daily. That along with the thoughts about his mom's disapproval for his decision to serve in the armed forces in the first place. Baby, you just graduated at the top of your college class. Why go to the military? I'm sure Bush is going to declare war. I mean, he's talking about weapons of mass destruction all the time. I'm going to worry about you every moment of every day. Just get into politics like you talked about since a baby. He could hear his mother's worries in a faint tone. Lance Corporal Bland was dead. He hadn't heard any news about Duncan. There were other officers he trained with that were also gone. What did I do wrong out there? I need to get in touch with some of the families. Why, God? Why the fuck did this happen? The oldest person on that convoy, only 30 years old? He screams, 30! He hears a knock at the door. The voice asks, Lieutenant, is it okay to come in? In an exhausted fashion, our hero answers, come on in. When the door opened, all our hero could see initially were 4 stars on the collar of the gentleman walking through the door. Our hero attempts to stand, even though he was in a wheelchair and only had one leg. At ease, Lieutenant. America should be standing for you. Aye, sir, was our hero's response. My meds will probably kick in soon. What can I do for you, sir? Our hero asked. I'm here because I have some good news and some bad news. Remember that our hero was just thinking about the absolute worst before his commanding general came in. I hope no one else is dead, sir. I don't know if I have enough in me to handle it, our hero says in a very low voice. Nobody else died. I did, however, want to give you an update on Sergeant Luna. He was awarded the Navy Cross for his heroics that day. The general informs our hero. He got out, went back to his hometown, and began drinking excessively. One night he got into a brawl at a bar and killed a man. He was convicted last week of manslaughter, and he's looking at a minimum sentence of 10 years in federal prison. Our hero smiles and says to the general, at least he's alive. I can write him in prison, even send money to him. General Latrell says to our hero, you absolutely can. From what I was told when I spoke to a friend of mine who is a lawyer, he may not be able to write back. The politics in prison are a lot different than the Corps when it comes to race. Just don't be too disappointed if he doesn't respond. I have someone else here to see you. Come on in, sir. He directs the guest waiting outside. The guest comes in and introduces himself to our hero. Hello, Lieutenant. Do you know who I am? Our hero, near intoxication from his medicine, looks with squinted eyes and asks, Senator Brown? Yes, sir. You're a senator from Illinois, right? That's right. I am your state senator. Your commander-in-chief sent me here to inform you that you will be the next recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor for your bravery that horrific morning in Iraq. Congratulations to you. Our hero has the biggest look of confusion on his face. Sir, all I did was stick my leg out of a door. Shouldn't Sergeant Luna have received that medal? Was the first thing he could get out. No, Lieutenant. From my understanding, Sergeant Luna was lucky to have received any medal at all. I'll let the general explain. The other reason I'm here, because I've read your background. One day, with any luck, I'll be the president one day, and I need a successor. It's my understanding that your wife is already into politics, and you were wanting to begin a career in politics as well. Our hero nods. Senator Brown continues, I'm looking at you to be my successor. You'll begin as an assistant with, Our hero sits up quickly out of his slumber and begins to buzz for a nurse to come into his room. She does. Our hero asks, "Did a general and a senator come see me yesterday?" "Sure did," she replied. "I overheard." "Let me stop. I was being nosy. Anyway, I heard the senator offer you a hand-picked role in politics in Illinois." Our hero smiles and tells the nurse that the S is silent. They both laugh. Our hero grabs his phone and calls the contact named My Fire and Desire. "Hello," the most angelic voice he has ever heard answers. "My husband is on the phone. Hold off on that appointment for 10 minutes. Our hero's wife, Cynthia, as of 2005 is a representative of the state of Missouri. "Hey baby, I can't wait to see you. My plane leaves at 6:30 tonight. Do you want me to stop and bring you anything?" Cynthia asks. "Not at all. I just need you here. We can always send a nurse. Just get here." "Are you sure you're ready to see me as 3/4 of my total self?" Our hero asks, looking for a little sympathy from his bride. "Of course I am, silly. For better or for worse. You stood by me and all that I have going on. It's my turn to show you unconditional love," Cynthia convinces our hero. With a smile, he says, "You don't know how much I needed to hear that. I have some news to tell you when you get here. Go ahead and handle your business, representative. Your fine ass. I'll see you when you get here." "I love you," Cynthia proclaims, both in unison, "for better or for worse." And they hang up the phone. The dynamic and relationship of this couple is strong. They almost don't have a choice, but I'll get into that in another chapter. Now let's check in with Duncan. He's currently in federal holding awaiting sentencing, so you know he isn't having the best of times. I wasn't even going to include him in this part, but y'all went crazy for him. That's the interactive element to this story. The comments matter here. With that being said, on the other side of things, Duncan is sitting in his cell, reminiscing of life before Fallujah, how devoted to his faith and his wife Justine. Understand that Duncan Luna is of Hispanic descent. His wife Justine is Caucasian. Anyway, in the midst of Duncan going down memory lane, he looks up. A burly Hispanic is standing in front of him. The man asks Duncan, "Estás listo?" Duncan gives him a nod and stands up. The man gives Duncan 2 prison-made shivs, both designed to slice. Duncan asks the man, "Which of them do I have to kill?" The man looks Duncan in the eye and says to him, "I don't care. Any of them. All of them. It makes me no difference. Just get it done." Duncan puts the shivs in each of his pockets of his jumpsuit and walks out of his cell. Hey, I see you made it to the end of Immolation, Chapter 1, Part 2. Let me get Free Duncan in the chat. That is Free Duncan in the chat. Hey, for Part 3, the interactiveness is coming. Let me know if you want to see what happens to Duncan in prison, or if you want to start with the life of Cynthia. If you don't put it in the comments, I will not see it. Again, thank you for watching. See you on Part 3.